get those two close wins?
Well, hey, I mean, tight games, really. I mean, we're fortunate. 2-1 a game and 7-6 ball game, and they did a good job. I mean, they fought. They jumped on us early with 3-run lead, and then we came back, and then they came back, and so they don't have any give up in them, And those guys are doing a good job. They're staying with each other, and I got to give them a lot of credit. They've given us two really good games, and but we're used to playing tight games. Our record's really good with 1-run games, and we're accustomed to that. So these games are very familiar to us, and we're comfortable in that, and we're comfortable on finishing games. So it's a good sign, winning tight games. I think any coach would tell you that, but you got to give USC a ton of credit. They've played just as well as we really have the first two games.
And when you have a close game like that, it always helps to have a All-American closer to be able to go to. You go to him for 2 1/3 innings. I believe this is his longest save of his career here at UCLA. Why did you decide to go to him that early?
Well, we weren't getting anybody out. It was 7-3, and then all of a sudden it's 7-6, and I don't like using him in the seventh, but Zach got Roberts out, and we felt that with 2 outs of first and third that we had to go to our guy, and he got a ground ball. And Valleca's played unbelievable defense all season long. He's played as good as defense really as any shortstop in the country. I mean, not only the balls he gets to a lot of baseballs, and he's been very accurate with his arm, and but at the end of the day, Berge has been Berge, and he's had a remarkable year, and we definitely would not be where we are today without him.
Yeah, and I actually saw you when Cody was struggling. You actually jogged out the mound. I think that's the first time I've ever seen you jog out the mound. Was it just that you were that upset that you weren't getting the outs right then?
A little bit. I mean, Cody's we know is going to be really good. There's no question. I mean, he is as talented as freshman as there's probably in the country, and there's just times he's in the middle of the plate, and they do a good job of hitting hard contact with pitches in the middle of the plate, and they made him pay the price today. So we're going to go back to him. He's been our Tuesday starter, and unfortunately he didn't get the job done today, and Berg picked both those guys up.
And in the third, Nick goes through the first 3 innings, 1, 2, 3, all the way through, no hits, anything. And then in the 4th inning, it looked like they made an adjustment, and they just completely stopped swinging at the slider. Was there any talk about that? Because after the 4th inning, it looked like he went to the changeup more and kind of settled in and was able to pitch the last couple innings.
I just saw a little rush. I mean, he was kind of trying to rush through that inning, and you can't do that when you're trying to make pitches. And Stubbs led off with that walk, and I mean he's been really good the first 2 days, and then Landecker hit and run, for that single that goes off Kramer's glove that ends up being a double, and then now you got second and third, and they made some adjustments, no question about it. And I thought Nick rushed a little bit that inning, and therefore didn't make a lot of pitches, and they made him pay. He had a big strikeout with Flores on a 3-2 count, but the damage was done. So they made adjustment. And then Nick did a nice job in the 5th and 6th. He really was out of gas after 5. Mm-hmm. We talk about just pitching with what you have, and that's what he did in the 6th. He was out of gas, but we needed to get one more inning out of him, and he fought through that, threw 15 pitches in the 6th inning and put up a 0, and ended up getting his 10th win.
And how confident are you with him and Adam at the front of the rotation as you go towards postseason play?
Very confident. I mean, 2 very reliable guys, 2 guys that really are face of the program. I mean, they have they got, I think they both have over 25 wins, I think, in 3 years, or at least close to it. I know Adam does. Nick was our closer the first year. He'd had more wins, Nick's had double-digit wins the last 2 years, but even without that, they're just great character guys. They work hard. They listen. They're going to be very good professionals, soon. And I couldn't be happier for both those guys, because they really what our Bruins all are about, and proud of them.
And last thing, what do you think about your team coming back? Eric coming up with a big hit, the bases clearing double to get you guys
back.
Big.
I like the fact there's a lot of discipline that inning. I mean, they threw a lot of pitches that inning. We had several walks, I mean, it was an ugly inning on their end, no question about it. And we earned some of it, but we kind of took what they gave us. And Eric came up in a 1-0 count, base loaded, and got a pitch he could drive, and hit it down that right field line and scored 3 runs. So Eric's still growing as a hitter, and fortunately, we put up a 5 there. It could have been a couple more. Really, it was base loaded, 1 out, and he pitched out of it, but it was enough to get us a win.